call upon the Premier.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to report that the bill entitled Consumer Protection Amendment Bill 2026 has passed through committee with amendments. Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill entitled Consumer Protection Amendment Bill 2026 be read a third time and passed as amended.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to second.
It has been moved and seconded that Consumer Protection Bill amended 2026 has been moved and seconded and will now be read a third time and passed as amended. Those in favor?
Aye.
Those against? The ayes have it. The motion is passed. I call upon the clerk to read the bill a third time.
This bill may be cited as Consumer Protection Amendment Bill 2026.
The bill has been read a third time and passed with amendments. I call upon the Premier.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move a motion to amend the order paper to add an additional item under public business, which is 8, government business, which is number 1, and this would be Roman numeral 16. And this would be for the introduction and first reading of the Virgin Islands Recovery and Development Agency Amendment Bill 2026. Just to repeat, I move a motion for the amendment of the order paper to add an additional item under Public Business 8, Government Business 1, Roman numeral 16, which is the introduction and first reading of the Virgin Islands Recovery and Development Agency Amendment Bill 2026. I so move.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to second.
Members, it has been moved, amended for the order paper to be moved and seconded for the order paper to be amended. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those against? The ayes have it. I call upon the Premier.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move that leave be granted to introduce the following bill standing in my name, shortly entitled the Virgin Islands Recovery and Development Agency Amendment Bill 2026.
I rise to second, Mr. Speaker.
Members, it has been moved and seconded that leave be granted to introduce the bill, Virgin Islands Development Agency Bill 2026. Those in favor?
Aye.
Those against? The ayes have it. I call upon the Premier.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I introduce the bill standing in my name shortly entitled Virgin Islands Recovery and Development Agency Amendment Bill 2026 and will explain its provision at the second reading. Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill shortly entitled Virgin Islands Recovery and Development Agency Amendment Bill 2026 be now read a first time.
I rise to second, Mr. Speaker.
Members, it has been moved. It has been moved and seconded that the bill entitled Virgin Islands Recovery and Development Agency be read a first time. Those in favor?
Aye.
Those against? The ayes have it. I call upon the clerk to read the bill for the first time.
This bill may be cited as the Virgin Islands Recovery and Development Agency Amendment Bill 2026.
I call upon the clerk.
Item number 9, other business.
Members, we are about to enter the portion allocated for other business. And with due respect to members' right to present, we're going to ensure that you have some time available to speak to the issues that are on your mind and wish to present to the public. Weighing that, though, with certain obligations that we have, as many of us are aware of, we will have a time limit for members' presentations today. Each member on the floor will be given a maximum, which you can use up to that, of 15 minutes, and the leader of the opposition, the premier, will be given 20 minutes. I invite members to make their contributions. If no members, okay.
Speak to the people, yes.
We recognize the member for the 2nd District.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. You said I have 15 minutes. I want to keep track of it for myself as well. Mr. Speaker, I want to greet the people of the Virgin Islands, and it's been a long while since we've been able to have a discussion with the people under other business. There have been a number of things that have been happening in our territory that has been concerning and that have been unable to be properly ventilated to the people. I want to, first and foremost, Mr. Speaker, take the opportunity to thank the people of the 2nd District who gave me this opportunity to stand and serve on their behalf. Mr. Speaker, over the last time, I know we're in this sitting that we're getting ready to wrap up now. If I look at the date of this sitting, and I see that it's from January 15th of 2026. Today's date is July 10th, 2026, which means that this house has been operating in one sitting for 6 months. And Mr. Speaker, as we have moved towards the independence of the House, I believe that there are some things that we can do procedurally better, which is to ensure that we are doing the business of the people, but also being fair in the way that we do the business of the people. We understand that we are governed by standing orders, but there's some, even within the standing orders, there's some rules and procedures in there that we must amend, because it means that for 6 months, and if we are being truthful, Mr. Speaker, I think the last time the opposition were able to ask questions in this House was almost a year ago. And we all have the people that sent us here, we all have their concerns that we are to represent. So while the government has the numbers and they can vote aye, Mr. Speaker, I believe it is important, equally important, to ensure that we have this balanced approach, that we are holding the government to account on behalf of the people that sent us here. I know we have a new sitting slated for the 21st, which the members of the opposition will be presenting their questions on behalf of the people that sent us here. But, Mr. Speaker, there is a number of meetings that I've had between January and July. 2 sets of meetings, to be specific, in that first and second quarter, that my people from my district would have raised a number of issues and concerns that have still yet to be addressed. And, Mr. Speaker, one of which I know it's now felt and being echoed throughout the territory, which is the issue of potable water. Mr. Speaker, I am bewildered, I am sick to my stomach that, especially in between 2024 and this period 2026, you take 12 months between that 2024 and 2026. The people that I represent on the island of Just Van Dyke have been without water in any 12-month period for more than 4 months in any 12-month period. I have lamented, I have asked, I have written, I have complained, I have spoken to the minister and his team. And now we are here on July 10, 2026. And I had to have an emergency meeting call on Wednesday fast at 6:30 p.m. at the Just Van Dyke Primary School with the minister and his team to deal with water and road infrastructure on Just Van Dyke specifically. I represent the whole district. Mr. Speaker, the people of Just Van Dyke and the people throughout this territory are now suffering with when they are to get water, and if they can get water. But specific to Just Van Dyke, my people in my community, the all people who pay tax dollars, pay taxes and contribute to our society, having to go in the seawater to bathe them skin, Mr. Speaker, because there's no water running in Just Van Dyke for the last 3.5 weeks. Businesses have had to shut down because there's no running water. This can't be the BVI that we are leading and are okay going to and fro our house and to and fro meetings and even coming to this. Mr. Speaker, I am uncomfortable. It is disheartening to have these complaints come. And when the minister came, thankfully he came. But here's the reality. It was only the minister and the acting director of public works that showed up to that meeting. That an island that had 315 people been without water show up to. Where's the priority, Mr. Speaker? This ain't just a situation where the people complain. This ain't the regular 4 months out of the 8 months, Mr. Speaker. This is now leading up to 2 months that they asked for 2 weeks ago Wednesday. We need to have a meeting with the minister and the team to find out what is going on and how we could resolve this situation. And Mr. Speaker, an emergency meeting I gave and asked the people to allow me a week so that the minister could be notified. I set a meeting to the minister, to his permanent secretary, to the acting director of public works, to the acting director of water and sewage and NT, so that they could be prepared to come to the people. Because prior to that meeting on Wednesday gone, we had district community meetings, one in April and one in January. And water was one of the priority areas. And Mr. Speaker, the people of Just Van Dyke had to come up with what they thought would be possible solutions to get water for them to bathe their skin, for them to take care of their children and be able to have this basic human right need. And we're holding the minister to account because within the next 2 weeks, we're hoping that there will be a water truck on Just Van Dyke. We're hoping that the water plant provider will set up the standing pipe so that persons could come there and get water to be able to do the things that they need to take care of their, to take care of themselves and their families. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. You can't flush your toilet, you can't bathe, you can't do nothing except use the seawater. The people are Just Van Dyke ain't no less than nobody else. But I know it's not just in the 2nd district. It's the same in the 8th district, in the 6th district, in the 4th district. What are we doing, Mr. Speaker, with water? What are we doing? And it can't be that we're going to cast the blame and say, who were there before? It can't be that. It can't be that, Mr. Speaker. We have to do better and we have to develop a plan and prioritize the resources that have been allocated in this 2026 budget to fix the areas. Mr. Speaker, I ain't going to take all time on Just Van Dyke, but I have one more on that same Just Van Dyke. For the last 4 years, I've been trying to get an additional or 2 additional persons hired in the water and sewage department. I personally have written reference letters for those persons. You have 1 employee on the entire island of Just Van Dyke for water and sewage. 1 employee on the entire island for public works department. And I'm hearing about finance and procurement and HR and protocols and all this foolishness, Mr. Speaker. But then you're going to tell me people going to get consultancy culture left and right without no proper criteria qualifications? But you can't hire 1 other individual to help the individual who's there in a Toyota Hilux? But when something goes wrong on Just Van Dyke, we have to wait. We have to wait for them to send somebody or somebody's from TORTOLA. But if TORTOLA have a water issue and the plant is shut down, you know, Just Van Dyke on the back burner for another week. Mr. Speaker, this can't be the country we run in. We need to stop fronting. We need to stop this facade that, you know, everything going good and rebuilding, and you have people suffering. And we have the means, Mr. Speaker. We have the resources allocated in this budget. The biggest budget ever, over $550 million. You tell me, can I hire 1 more person? 2 more? Over 4 years? Mr. Speaker, we had a situation, and we have a situation where the roads in my community, Mr. Speaker, I believe, I know, are the worst roads in this entire British Virgin Islands territory. When you drive from Great Mountain from the entrance to Agape, going to Charleville Estate. Mr. Speaker, if you're pregnant, don't drive that road. You're going to lose your child. If you're pregnant, people of the Virgin Islands, don't carry your wife on that road. You're going to lose your child. He can't lose no child. That's a king, man. But you understand what I mean? Don't carry your wife. Don't carry Auntie Janice. Because it won't be good. But Mr. Speaker, when you go from there, you go Charleville and you go towards your district, Mr. Speaker. Because now you can't, I see them do something down Sikau Bay. But the people that they ain't coming from west now, who come through town. I didn't want to talk about it. You didn't want me to talk about that. Let me go and talk about that. The people coming from Western and the First District, because the dust was killing them, they come over the Ridge Road. We hear this was part of the $16 million or whatever the $1 million for 16 mile of road or whatever it was, that's going to get fixed. That road is part of the project. Mr. Speaker, the road falling down. And I ain't reached Balance Bay yet, I'm still over Windy Hill, Mr. Speaker. You go up Windy Hill on that road, you got to keep to the left if you're going towards Carrot Bay or towards South Lookout. But mind you, if you keep too much to the left, because you'll end up in a gut. If you go to the right, too much in the middle of the road, the car them was supposed to be on the left side, them in the middle of the road, so it's you and them. Mr. Speaker, the road is deteriorating. It's falling apart. And we're putting more and more traffic on it. I ain't see one truck to throw asphalt on that road. But this is what we're doing. The tourism season just finished. This is what we sell in the taxi bus down with all people. Until something happens and we say, oh, we have to fix the road. I'm going down to Ballas Bay, Mr. Speaker. I'm going down the hill. You look at Ballas Bay Road, on the left side of the road, down the hill, the road falling apart, Mr. Speaker, and we have people in the tourism district of the second district in King Island Bay and that community. You got buses, you got people who traversing there. I mean, my good teacher, elders in the community, my good great aunt, if the ambulance have to go down there, is a problem. And then there's a washout, Mr. Speaker, right below Harry Lang. I try to understand is if it's me, this government fighting, or the people at the second district. Let me tell you what. Mr. Speaker, that washout below Mr. Harry Lang happened from Erin. Time is up, Mr. Speaker. I crave your indulgence for 1 minute to wrap up. 2 minutes. 2 minutes, Mr. Speaker. That road washout from Hurricane Erin. You had a washout with some heavy rains after Erin, 8 months after. And 2 tools, bam, bam, bragadam, contract up, wall up. The washout still there. Mr. Speaker, I'm asking the Premier and his government, please, when you're doing things, do it in a way that is balanced throughout this territory, because the roads are bad, water is bad, and we have to fix our country. We can't say we're proud of our BVI and we ain't taking care of the basic necessities of this territory. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for this opportunity. I know we're approaching festival season, so if we don't speak before then, I want to wish the people of the Virgin Islands happy festivals as they come out and congratulate all the graduates from our educational communities. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Any other member? We are short on top members, so we're not cat and mouse in today. Honorable Lorna Smith, territorial at-large member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am never cat and mousing. When my turn comes, I speak. It's 15 minutes goes very quickly, and I, as an at-large representative, I have to associate myself with the comments made by the member for the second district in relation to the water situation. I am, however, very happy to hear from him that in a week or two we will have the water truck visiting and providing for some of the needs of that district. I know the people from that district are very patient. Mr. Speaker, we have gone through so many deaths in this country. I think this has been the most that we've had. Sudden deaths and other deaths in a long time. And I just want to express my sadness and my sympathy. No, it's not. It seems so to me. I just want to express my sympathy to all those people who mourn. I would not single out anybody. I just want to, Mr. Speaker, mention one of two philanthropists who have contributed so much to this territory over the years, and that is Mrs. Birgitta Nygren, who died a couple of weeks ago in Bermuda, but who lived here for many years. Mr. Speaker, the member from the second spoke about the road situation. I would like to talk a little bit about the physical aspects of the country, cleaning up our country. And I want to start with a little bit of the positive and to say that only this morning we passed each other very early as I was moving up to Chalwell to visit a potential area. The Premier has promised me a few dollars. He didn't tell me for Chalwell, but that's where I can find a few dollars for a lookout. It's an amazing, amazing location. And I say the positive because the people from the second district were there cleaning up the roads and so on. So I was very happy to see that. By the time I got back down to McNamara, Honorable Ronnie, the people, there was another crew cleaning up McNamara. So the cleaning up continues. But, Mr. Speaker, I have to say a little bit about Road Town. And I'm not criticizing anybody, I'm not criticizing any side. I want to use two words that one of my favorite songwriters refers to, and he talks about critical patriotism. Critical patriotism. And by that he means the ability to look your country, your territory in the eye and say, call it out, so to speak, say what needs to be fixed. And Mr. Speaker, I am talking about Road Town now and its appearance. Specifically, Mr. Speaker, the area of Lower Road Town, where from my house I counted this morning more than 24 trailers, containers, trailers, boats, 24 of those, and then you add to those the old cars. I didn't even count those. But Mr. Speaker, this is our town. And what made it worse for me, what added insult to injury for me, was to see that the customs department, representatives from the department are now clearing cargo from within those containers that are trespassing on government property. It is wrong. This is not the country that I know. We all get up, Mr. Speaker, and we sing, "Oh, beautiful Virgin Islands," and we talk about the beauty of our hills, the lovely seashores, and what have you. Let us put some meaning to it. Let us take some pride. I am not, Mr. Speaker, trying to get in the way of people in terms of their livelihood, but we must do it better. We must take some pride in what we do. We must find a place to put our cargo, our containers, and so on, so that Road Town looks like Road Town should look. In fact, only 2 days ago or 3 days ago, where a cruise ship was in, I think yesterday, there were 2 in on Wednesday. And this is the sight that they are seeing. It is not right, and I'm calling on the people who are responsible for creating this unsightly look in our country to take some pride in the British Virgin Islands. Mr. Speaker, moving to other more positive things. I'd like to say we've talked a lot about the basket of goods in terms of the or supermarkets and so on. I'd like to say that that has been introduced, and we have not been able to look as yet at how efficiently it's working, but Mr. Speaker, in a week or two, I should be able to give more of a report on it. But I'm hoping that persons are seeing some improvement. I want to very quickly, I mentioned before a little bit about the Roots to Resilience program that I run, and I just want to mention very quickly that, first of all, I'd like to thank those people who continue to contribute money to allow us to be able to paint areas. We were able to repaint the prison museum, for instance, and other areas, Anegada and so on, and we hope to continue those projects. In terms of business development, Mr. Speaker, we are very busy with that area. In fact, you'd be pleased to know that, in fact, everyone would be pleased to know, Mr. Speaker, that we are opening a satellite office for trade, the Trade Department, in Virgin Gorda within the next week or two. Everything is all set for it. We will be operating from that satellite office 3 days a week, which means that people don't have to come to TORTOLA for things like trade licenses. I'm also pleased to report, Mr. Speaker, that we will be able to give out a number of grants under our micro and micro, medium, MSME, micro, small, and medium enterprise efforts. By the end of July, so far we have given out 2 businesses more than $300,000. We are expecting to give out about 20 more grants in July. And I'm happy that we're doing it and doing it now and not waiting until the end of the year to do so. In terms of Huntamscott, again, I want to say how busy we are in terms of our business activities. I'm happy that the Special Economic Zone, the first one, the Entrepreneurship Zone, rather. The first building has been completed, and that by the end of this month, again, we should be able to enter into leasing arrangements with about 4 to 5 persons in areas like craft, education, consulting, and other business development. Training continues for us in financial management, marketing. We graduated 29 persons recently. And the final thing, in the 15 minutes I have, I want to touch on is that in August, we were hoping it would be this month, but we will be having a meeting with the entire marine industry where we're going to bring together all of the bareboat and the crude boat operators with our own BV Islander boat captains and boat owners. Our strength right now is in the area of day charters, and we want to ensure that BV Islanders continue to excel in what they do, and that there is no difficulty that they experience, that they are treated fairly, and that they are given every opportunity within the boating industry. The boating industry is our advantage in the tourism industry, and we want to make the most of it, and we want to make sure that our people, our British Virgin Islanders, have every opportunity to take part in that industry. I too, if I don't have another opportunity to speak, with the festival coming up, would like to wish everybody in this territory a beautiful festival. I've looked at the program I think all of us have, and it looks like a very exciting program. I want to congratulate the Minister of Culture, Honorable Luce, and the Premier as well for the fine program that they have put together. We are all excited about it and are looking forward to it. I wish everyone a happy and a safe festival. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh.
Recognize the at-large gentleman member from McNamara.
Are you speaking first one, David? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to make some contributions concerning basically the state of affairs of the country, and make my contributions on possible ways of correcting some of these things. Mr. Speaker, before I begin, I want to join with those who went before me to express condolences to all the people of the Virgin Islands from Antigua to Jospin Dykes who have lost loved ones. It's for the last 6 months, it has been too many people. And like the other large members who spoke before me, I wouldn't want to call names, but there are a lot of people in this. Some of them were close to me. And it's becoming a bit taxing before you can fully mourn one person, another one gone. So I don't know if they're hearing something that we are not hearing, where they're all leaving the planet so quickly. But I want to join with those who have lost loved ones and give my sympathy and my condolences to them. Mr. Speaker, too, I want to associate myself with some of the comments with all the graduates. Many have done extremely well. I was just checking to make sure she didn't have a gun. Madam, so Mr. Speaker, I want to congratulate all of those who have graduated from the various schools, primary, secondary, and I too, went to New York to see my grandson graduated, which he did well. And so I missed quite a number of the graduations. But like anybody who knows me know that education is something that I will always support and give my full thing, because I believe education is what got us to where we are. And it started from Mr. Stout, who, although he didn't have the opportunity to go to formal high school, he was able to get us tertiary education in this country. So we can't take education for granted. And that needs to be stressed to the young people who are graduating from high school. Do not take it for granted. Because there was a time when we did not have it. And it's not too long ago. It's during my lifetime. And I am, about 16 now? Again, so I congratulate the students who have made that next step towards secondary education and tertiary education. So speaking to my colleagues, I don't know if you're going to have an opportunity to wish the people a happy festival. It seems odd doing it this way, because it's used to the chief ministers and the premiers of the past would have made the opportunity for us to do some of this stuff. But we're living in a new paradigm, and we have to take advantage of whenever opportunity presents itself. So I want to wish everybody a happy festival, and a happy and safe festival, because it's important for us to understand what we are celebrating. We are celebrating the emancipation of our forefathers. And if they were not emancipated, then we would have been in slavery. Mr. Speaker, so when the opportunity comes, I will be in the festival village if time permits. And I will leave the festival village at 2. That's my cutoff period. So who coming on stage after 2? Please accept my apology. I am gone. Mr. Speaker, the pensioners of this country whose shoulders we are standing on now, up to, what today is, Friday, up to Wednesday, I understand they have not received their little cost of living adjustment to their pensions. And I think that is wrong, and I think who's ever responsible, when I speak to the Premier, he says he already gave his instruction, and it's in finance, and whoever is supposed to do this is wrong, and the country cannot make progress taking advantage of the old and the little children. It can't. Whoever is responsible for paying the little allowances that increasing pensions that these people deserve, they need to do it, and they need to do it now. Because we who are in this house, we have gotten an increase from last year, January. And we can't see it fit to make sure the pensioners of this country get their little allowance. The cost of living has increased since the hurricanes. If they still have a mortgage on their homes, or they mortgage their home to send their kids to college, they're hurting because they're on a fixed income. We need to help. That's what we're here for. And Premier, please, push some more, please. Because, and I understand the last set of things that came out, it will only be retroactive to January. That's what I heard. I don't know if, I haven't seen an official piece of paper. And all of that is, to me, not right. I don't know how much money it is, but if somebody show me a piece of paper, I probably can help them find the money that need to pay the pensioners. Mr. Speaker, NHI, which is my baby, I gave birth to it as a minister with the support of all my colleagues. There's some stuff that NHI is doing that cause me concern. I don't know if they're doing some of this stuff because they're short of money, so they're making financial decisions and not policy decisions. And at some point, if the minister will allow, let us have NHI in here. NHI, let us understand the policies, because it seems the policies are shifting depending on who is requesting assistance. And that can't be right. If you have a policy that you're only paying this for procedure, then that's the policy. Whether I go to Dr. Fraser or Dr. Turnbull, shouldn't be a problem. And that's how the system was set up, but it seemed like it's shifting, and I don't know why it's shifting. We have the hospital, which cannot stand alone. We have to look at healthcare on a national basis. We cannot think the hospital is the solution to all national health issues. You have to include the clinics, you have to include the emergency medevac, you have to include all of this and create a holistic approach to healthcare in this country. We are just dabbling with a hospital, and that's the most expensive part of healthcare. We need to address it. I wish the minister, I hope he's listening. I am willing to sit in the room to find out which way is up, because right now we like turning downwards. Mr. Speaker, like the member for the second who talked about water issues, I think all of us in here know we're in crisis mode. I don't think I need to tell anybody we're not in crisis mode with water. One government, it's not just this government. I must say so because it stems during when I was over there, all the way back. It needs a national approach to the water issue. Fixing little pipes in reservoirs and stuff with El Nino. We're not getting any rain I doubt we can get rain for August. We have a problem. We got a major problem on our hand. It is true, the outer islands like Jos van Dijk, which when we put the water plant over there, it was never to be just one water plant. It was supposed to have backup. And we refusing to put in the backup systems for these islands. That's all happening over there. There's no backup system. You can't put a backup in the same location. You got to be strategic. Back in, again, Mr. South days, we run one cable over. When the cable failed, people in trouble. We need another cable. Don't mind people, they need generating capacity on Jos van Dijk. Nobody wants a power station in their backyard. Nobody. Based on my experience. No one wants it. So the cleanest thing to do as Jos van Dijk is a tourism mecca is to run another cable. What does it cost? $1 million. $1.5 million. That's the price of a financial services study. That's the price of a lawyer to help us. Is so? No, those put things in perspective. That's what we're dealing with. The cost, no, that's too low for election campaign. You know, but that's what we're looking at. But when it comes to a whole community, we think it's a lot of money, so it's not budgeted for. It's not. We need to fix some of this stuff, you know. And how much more minutes I have, Mr. Speaker? About 10. You know, when we come again, electricity, we were just hearing a little concern that they had. But there's no doubt in my mind that there's a problem brewing in electricity. I know some of the issues of power outages are due to the distribution and transmission system. But there's an issue, there's something brewing. Whether things are not being maintained properly, or they can't be maintained because they don't have the resources to maintain them. And the same thing that happened in WAPO, that some of us who were following it, you're heading for those things. You don't need to go there. We have the country out for, what, 6 hours, another half. We need to pay attention. We need to get to the root of some of this stuff. I know it's a complex little country now, and a lot of us spending our time trying to keep the British off of us. Or I can't find no other words. You know, trying to stay alive, trying to make sure the FATF don't blacklist us and wrong list us, and we could never get a green list and a white list or something. You know, so I know we're fighting complex issues, but some group of people need to get together and try to solve this stuff from a national perspective. You know, it costs money. I know people don't like to hear you borrowing money. But if you borrow money to fix some of this stuff, and it has a life of 10, 15 years, whatever you fix, then the money is well spent. The money is well spent because you're going to get it back in the benefit of stable electricity, all sorts of stuff you can get it back in. So those who are there telling you, yes, you need those people to keep you in check, so you can do the right thing. So they're not bad people. They're just trying to make sure that you dot your I's and cross your T's. But don't be scared of those people. That's why the rest of the country send us here, so we can make their lives better. And once utilities, roads go into chaos mode, there is no easy fix. There is no short-term fix to these problems. Electricity goes into chaos mode, it takes 24 months, 36 months before you could come out on the other end. Regardless of what kind of short-term method you put in place. Water gone into chaos mode, and how much years we here now? You know, like I said in the budget address, I said before, we actually spending $26 million for water, collecting 4. Somebody need to find out what the problem is. If it's going to cost $5-6 million to fix the problem, let's get a loan. The benefit after the problem is fixed, that money could go service the loan. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm glad for this opportunity. We got problems. We need to find solutions to these problems. And the solutions are not far away. But if I don't see, we come back here on the 21st? We're supposed to. And if, hopefully, we won't have to go over this again. We can be nice and wish everybody a happy festival and wish them luck and tell them meet us in the village. We buy them drinks and stuff. So, Mr. Speaker, with those few words, I will take my seat.
Thank you. I call upon the Junior Minister for Culture and Tourism. Or the Acting Minister for Education, Honorable Luce Smith.
All right, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yes, I begin, Mr. Speaker, by explaining why I am sitting in this position today. But before I do so, Mr. Speaker, I just want to extend my heartfelt gratitude, continued gratitude to the residents, voters, businesses of District 4 for their continued support of me as I go through this process of representing them in this honorable House of Assembly. Today, I proudly serve as the Acting Minister for Education, Youth Affairs and Sports. I have done so twice before, Mr. Speaker, but not afforded the opportunity to attend Cabinet as I did today and to sit on the front row of this honorable House. So because of the people of the 4th District, I am afforded such a historic occasion. I also want to, Mr. Speaker, I know it's been a few months, express, and I hope I don't come to tears, express to all who extended support, overwhelming support to my family and I during the passing of our mother, our grandmother, whatever, cousin, aunt, for the passing of her, Dorothy Durant. She passed in April and was buried in May. And on behalf of her family and I extend heartfelt thank you for the overwhelming support of family, friends, well-wishers, and in particular, while I'm here, the members of this honorable House. We are truly appreciative of your love, expression of love in many, many, many ways, whether it's a call, a text message, or just simply sending a message by someone else. We are truly grateful. And my mother, Dorothy, was a phenomenal woman and will truly be missed. I also, Mr. Speaker, extend, like everyone else, condolences to all in the community who have lost loved ones. And yes, it has been many. As you learn of one, you learn of another, and then you learn of another. But it's a trying time, having going through it myself. Now I understand. Now I understand. I used to say, I believe I understand, or I know what you're going through, but I can say now, I know for a fact what it is like to lose a loved one. But Mr. Speaker, I just want to take a moment to reflect on our recent homicide and the young man that was killed. I didn't know the young man, but in learning of him, about him from others, he was quiet. I saw pictures of him on the basketball team. So in my view, I heard he was quiet and he was very focused and he had a bright future ahead of him. And again, Mr. Speaker, I would like to lend my voice. I've done it before. We've done all that we could. We had marches against gun violence, and we just want again to ask persons, when you're considering using a gun for whatever mean reason, just rethink it and put the guns down. I don't know what else we can do, what else we can say. It's an awful thing. It's a terrible thing to lose a loved one and to lose them in that particular way. So I also can extend condolences to his family. Understood he had a young baby and, had a fiance, his mom or parents, other close relatives and friends. Just want to bear them up in our prayers, and hopefully they will be able to get through this terrible ordeal at this time. Mr. Speaker, I want to extend congratulations to our graduating classes of 2026. It's been a very successful time for the public and private schools in our territory. And also, I'd like to extend congratulations, of course, to all those who were very, very successful. I understand that our males in our community did extremely well. They did extremely well with 100 passes, I know for sure, of all the males in the Elmo Strout High School. So congratulations to that school, congratulations to all the students, all the schools in the territory, particularly to the Ministry of Education, Youth Affairs and Sports, the minister herself and her staff, and the students, the parents, and all the well-wishers. We are very, very proud of all of these very, very good successes throughout the territory. And like to wish them, whatever their future endeavors are, whether they go into the field of work, extend, or go to a next level of the grades, or go to college or universities, whether it's here at HLSCC or away, we want to extend best wishes to them as they move on. Today, some of us will witness a race in 10 minutes. Our very own Adeja Hodge. And it's at 3, I'm told, but I was also told it was at 2. So whatever the time, hopefully we get to see it, if not us here in the house, in the community. And she will compete during the Monaco Diamond League race. And as a BVI lander, though she's not representing us today in this particular race, we are very proud of her recent achievements, and we anticipate she'll do us just proud today. We are praying that she comes out the winner, but whatever her status in this race today, we are very proud of her, recognizing that she's coming up against some big ones, as was reported. So we are looking forward to her performance today and wish her well. Mr. Speaker, I also wish to congratulate our athletes who placed 3rd in the ANOCS Athletics Championships, which were held in St. Kitts recently. Our athletes are doing extremely well. They're making us very proud. To be quite honest with you, Mr. Speaker, I am not a sports fan. I don't follow sports, but when it comes to our BVI athletes in whatever sports they do, whether it's on land or on the sea, we are very proud of them. We support them, and we wish them continued success in their future endeavors when it comes to their respective selection of sports. I won't be very long, Mr. Speaker, but I also want to agree with my honorable colleague, Honorable Lorna, in terms of the cleanliness when it comes to our territory. And I think it was said before, especially in our territorial song, we talk about, oh, beautiful Virgin Islands, and we are a beautiful territory. And that is why I believe the Premier, I'm not wearing the hat of Junior Minister today, but I believe the Premier will share some additional accolades that we received from the industry of how beautiful our territory is, and he will share that. But in order for us to sing it on a regular basis and to continuously say that we are beautiful, and visitors come to our territory and say that we are beautiful, as a matter of fact, they will say we are one of the cleanest countries that they see. I've heard them say that. But to us, because of our high standard of ourselves, we don't think it's all that clean, and it could be cleaner. So I am appealing, along with Honorable Lorna, that we need to play our part, especially those who have properties that are not being used and it's just left for the bush to grow around it. You know, take some time to get it cleaned up, although you're not using it. And yes, that area across from the hospital is an eyesore. It's been an eyesore. And it's been several attempts to get it cleaned, and I hope that we will get it cleaned this year. This time, when we say we're going to get it cleaned, efforts are being feverishly made to get it cleaned up, especially before our festival season. So that's what we're working on, Mr. Speaker. But again, the appeal is out there for us to do our part. In addition to that, we do have a collaboration between the city manager's office and the Department of Waste Management, and we will hear more details about that, where they are going to be collaborating to keep at least the town a little bit cleaner. Recognizing that both have sanitation workers that work the same hours, 6 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon, and there's no coverage later on in the afternoon. So we're trying to see how they could utilize the human resources that they have to help us to extend the hours beyond 1 o'clock. So we're working on that as well. But again, Mr. Speaker, we all need to do our part. In general, there are the road issues, the road issues and the water issues, and just want to point those out because as a representative for the 4th District, I do get calls when the water go out. And I must admit, Mr. Speaker, that I would call right away because, when the caller calls about the water issue, the water being off, you can hear that frustration. So I try to address it as quickly as I can by calling those who are responsible for the area. And I would always call on Mr. Vaughn Alfonso, and I could mention his name because he's the acting manager or director for the Water and Sewage Department. And every time I call him, he's already on the job, on the spot, dealing with it. Just recently, last week, I called him and he said, yes, we're here and we're addressing the issue. So when we do call, they try their best to address the situation, and we just need to be a little patient. I know it's frustrating. It just needs to be a little bit of patience. And in particularly with the roads, and I want to single out this particular road in my district that has been giving my residents the devil of a time, Dungeon Road. And I just want to publicly thank them for their patience, for their understanding. They too are very frustrated, but the fact of the matter is the road has to be fixed. There's no other way out or in. There's only one way in, one way out. So it's extremely frustrating for them. And I want to publicly thank them for their patience and understanding, and know that, we're working feverishly to get that road complete. And I'd just like to wrap up, Mr. Speaker, by again also, as my other colleagues have done, not sure whether we will be returning to say other business before the festival season, but to wish everyone a happy, fun-filled, and safe festival, Emancipation Festival 2026. There will be some slight changes. One we know with the tramp, our Rise and Shine tramp being switched from the Monday to the Tuesday, and the parade remaining on the Monday, but hopefully, we're praying that it's scheduled to start at 12, I'm told, and then we will hopefully get that started on time, and we can really see the difference of why not having these two major events on the same day and affecting the quality of our festival Monday parade. So we look forward to persons enjoying themselves. We understand that the persons out in the diaspora that are coming home. The hotels are booked. The Airbnb, they are booked. Car rental agencies are booked. And so it's going to be another fun year. Our entertainment schedule is very exciting. Carrot Bay and Eastern are doing their portion as well. As we speak, the village is being prepared. Booths are being mounted, and it's just flowing very nicely for so far. And I'd like to extend congratulations early, and of course we'll do it at the end as well, because I see it as a very successful festival we will have. Want to extend to our new chair lady, I think this is her second festival, Mrs. Penn Lake and her team, her entire team, and also all the volunteers. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your unselfish way in which you give of your time for this major national event that we are celebrating our emancipation from slavery. There's a lot of history behind it. We won't go into it, but it's something that we are very proud of. There will be some more adjustments that we will have to make, but we'll of course come to the public to have further discussions about it. But we recognize that this festival is significant to us as a people of the Virgin Islands, and we want to be able to extend to visitors to come and to experience our Emancipation Festival. With that said, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to sit and thank you for the opportunity to say a few words on the other business.
Another member wishing to contribute, call upon the Minister for Health and Social Development.
Oh, should I start over? So thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to say a few words on any other business. It's been a very long time since we've been here, but I will be rather brief as there are some other pressing matters we have to deal with. I want to begin by congratulating all our graduates who graduated this graduation season that seemed to have went on for a very long time, but I was very, very impressed with the quality of the ceremonies, and I must say the male students did us extremely proud in my district. It may be other places too. I think in my district, nearly every single valedictorian was a male, and it says a lot for the concerns we often had surrounding male students. I want to congratulate Ms. Brown for being this year's winner of the Grace Hughes Memorial Trophy. This trophy is in its 10th anniversary, and I do it in honor of Ms. Grace Hughes, who lived in the North Zone community, who had no children, but was very impactful in that community. So in her memory, I do that trophy. Mr. Speaker, in other concerns in my district, as you know, for the last couple of months, I think, we've been having various challenges with power, electricity, a lot of fluctuations, a lot of power outages. But I was able to meet with the general manager to get a good idea of what the plans are over the next couple of weeks, the mitigation measures and so forth. And I'll be sharing that interview maybe over the weekend. But I was happy to know that he's quite aware of the challenges we have. They've cataloged them. They know exactly the approach they're going to take to get the problem fixed with the infrastructure, the distribution. I haven't had a chance to sit down yet with the Sargassum Czar to understand exactly where they're going with the Sargassum. But just to make it known that Sargassum in Virginia, like other places, is more than just a nuisance of a foul scent. But because both water plants are exposed to Sargassum, it creates a water problem. And it's so important that we get that permanent fix in place to where we don't have this Sargassum. We can't stop the Sargassum from coming, but we can figure out how best to deal with it, that it doesn't affect the water distribution. Virgin Water is all about tourism, a lot of high-end tourism. And when you are asking tourists to come to Virgin Water, and then there's no power at times, and there's no water, it creates a real problem for us. Nonetheless, I'm so pleased that in travel and leisure, Virgin Water, same Virgin Water, is ranked number 3 Caribbean best islands and number 21 in the entire globe. Mr. Speaker, I'm so proud of this achievement. But like the article said, the metrics they use, and I think I had a copy of it. I hope I still have the metric they use. Because I was wondering, well, how did they come by to decide that Little Virgin Water is worthy of this recognition? And you would think, Mr. Speaker, it's only the baths. I don't have it. You would think they would only be talking about the baths, but it's more than just the baths. They look at culture. They look at the attitudes of the persons who serve them. I'll try and find it quickly. There's the... So here it is. So I was going through the metrics as to how they came about choosing the island. And this is what it says. Virgin Islands was ranked number 3 best island in the Caribbean, while Just for Next secured number 13 position, reinforcing the British Virgin Islands' reputation as one of the region's premier travel destinations. Virgin Islands' success also extended to the global rankings, earning number 22 spot among 25 best islands in the world. The recognition places the island alongside some of the world's most celebrated destinations and highlights its international appeal. Known for its iconic baths, luxury resorts, secluded beaches, and breathtaking scenery, Virgin Islands continues to attract visitors seeking both relaxation and adventure. More than 207,000 readers participated in the 2026 World Best Award Survey. Now, Speaker, it speaks to how as a community we need to come together, to work together, and celebrate something like this. When we get up to speak, yes, everywhere you go, there are good and bad things. Let's put the bad things aside. Let's work on fixing those things, like I said, the power, the sargassum, the water. But let's celebrate with the world who sees the value of what we do in the 9th District. I'm surprised Enagada isn't in there too for the things that persons are looking for. But let's continue to be mindful that persons come to the island and they want more than just sun, sea, and sand. They're interested in the culture, the cultural activities. They're interested in the hiking, the nature, the history of the island. And I think we've done a very good job as a community in Virgin Islands in bringing that forward. And the reward we see is 2026 recognition as the 3rd best in the Caribbean and 22nd in the globe. I think that's worthy of huge praise, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, coming up, I'm looking forward to a couple of weeks' time to having a centenarian celebrate 104th birthday, I think, on August 4th, Miss Iris Harrigan. I'm looking forward. August 4th, after the festivities, is a very special day for me. Miss Iris, I've known her all my life, and she makes 104 years on August 4th, which I think is a Wednesday or Thursday. But it's right after the holiday season. I look forward to spending that day, that significant milestone. She's still very active, and she enjoyed visits. Honorable Lana, haven't been in a while to visit her, but she enjoys when you come to visit her. She's very talkative, she's very friendly, and she knows a lot of history. Her recollection is perfect. And as I talk about Virgin Islands being the 3rd island recognized, on July 18th, next weekend, I'll be doing an Explore Enagada Day. For those persons who haven't yet bought your tickets, they're only $20 round trip from Spanish Town to Enagada. A few tickets are left at Basics on Virgin Islands. Go and get your tickets today. Because I don't think by next week, Monday, you're going to have any tickets left, particularly after announcing it now. It's a day I want person to understand what Enagada is really all about. It's not only lobster. There's so much to do. You can go to the conch shell mounds. You can do horseback riding, ATVs. You can do island tours, bar and restaurant hopping. There's so much to do. And the Enagadans are prepared for us. So come on over to Virgin Islands, get your ticket, go across to Enagada, and then come back. We leave at 10, and we're back at 5. So I'm looking forward to welcoming persons to Virgin Islands and to Enagada. In the 9th District, we are all about tourism. Mr. Speaker, with just those few short words there, I am going to take my seat. Thank you very kindly.
Thank you. Any other member wishes to speak? Call upon the leader of the opposition.
Mr. Speaker, and for the opportunity to give my contribution on the other business. I'm, Mr. Speaker, since we had an opportunity to speak in this way to the people of the Virgin Islands, my colleague has gone into that already. We'll deal with that on the 21st. I just want to say a pleasant good afternoon. Speaker, we have...
Pardon, Honorable Member, just to note that you actually have 20 minutes allowed for your presentation.
Oh, lovely. Thank you, sir. Mr. Speaker, we have some pressing issues in the territory at present, and I want to touch on a few of those in the time that's allotted to me. Firstly, the aesthetics of the country. And I know the member for the fourth and the territorial member spoke about this. But Mr. Speaker, it's becoming a serious, serious problem. I know that the rated staff is out there, they're trying their best to keep the place clean and continue to do the work that they're doing. But the issue of derelicts, Minister for Health, is a vexing problem throughout my community and throughout this entire territory. I made it my business 2 nights ago, two afternoons ago, early afternoon, driving from Nottingham, from the Stickit to the top of Nottingham Estate, to count every derelict I encounter before I get to my home. Mr. Speaker, I counted 20 derelict vehicles alongside the road between that less than a mile from the Stickit to the top of Nottingham Hill. 20 derelict vehicles. Just some are stripped, some are just abandoned, some are just there on blocks, on a road that was just newly reconstructed. Mr. Speaker, we have to do better than this as a community, as a territory. Minister, we have to strengthen the derelict laws of this country. I think 2 weeks is too long to wait to tag a vehicle and move a vehicle. We can't allow persons continue to disregard the look of our country in this way. And don't talk about Greenland. The Greenland field has become a dumping ground for derelict vehicles. I went there the other day. You move them, they're growing like weeds. You move 20 today, 30 come back tomorrow. The stretch by the graveyard, Minister, again, a total eyesore. We cleared that property across from Mr. Radford Potter's residence in 2023. Cleared it, had plans to fence it in the ministry so that, you look at that property now, it's again a dumping ground. Minister, you need to give this house an update on where we are with the derelict site. We need to understand where we are in terms of moving those vehicles from within the community, but we need stronger penalties. We need to strengthen the law to deal with the perpetrators who continue to just drop their derelict vehicles anywhere around this territory, Mr. Speaker. Speaker, the issue of water. And many members have brought it up already for the day, this afternoon. Speaker, I wouldn't belabor the point. I made a statement earlier this week on the issue of water, and I made that statement because I know the minister in June of last year made it a national priority. Mr. Speaker, it's gotten worse. We have to admit that it has gotten worse, and the challenges that many persons in this territory face are dire. I don't have time to be playing politics. I hear the cries every day of the residents, not just in my district, but throughout this entire territory. I've gotten calls on Virgin Water concerning the valleys, the challenges within the valley as it relates to the water supply. And how persons can get access, consistent access to potable water. So I heard a statement was on the radio saying that what I know is that all people had to pay an additional cost. It's the government responsibility to get it to the communities and get it to the persons who need it. And we're not doing a good enough job in ensuring that that is done. So, Premier, I know you hear the cries of your constituents as well in Nottingham. This is not politics. This is giving up people some relief. People need some relief. While I was here sitting, I got a WhatsApp about Greenland again, Upper Greenland, just by Courtney's apartment, going up the hill. Haven't had water in weeks, struggling. Person spend and monies on their plants and their gardens, and they pride themselves on keeping their surrounding a nice way. They have to decide, like, if I water my plants, I can't bathe this week. You know, people have to watch their plants and things that they've nurtured from a seedling shrivel up and die. Don't talk about the farmers and the plight of the farmers throughout this territory, losing all their crops because they cannot get access to potable water. This is not a game, Minister. This is real problems people are faced with. So no one is playing politics. People are feeling the pain. We have to come up with a solution. We have to put our heads together and come up with a solution to address this issue that's affecting so many Virgin Islanders around this territory. So, Premier, let us find a way to fix this. Let us find a way to give our people some support, some relief. Because our people direly, they need it. Not all of us have the resources to be able to buy water, or a friend that could help us out to get a load of water. Not everybody has that luxury. People need help. They need some support. Let us find a way to give our people some support. Electricity. Mr. Chair, Mr. Speaker, the Minister just spoke about the issue of the electricity in the Sister Island, and I want to reinforce the concerns of the citizens of Virgin Gorda as well, who have expressed to me their concerns about the frequent power outages that are happening on that Sister Island. Whatever the issue is, and I know that we've scheduled to have a discussion with the director or the managing director of Viva Electrical, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Electrical Corporation, Viva EC. I'm hopeful that we could have that conversation as well concerning what is happening in Virgin Gorda and what is happening particularly in Jocelyn Dyke, as it relates just not just to the power, but to the issue of water in Jocelyn Dyke as well. The people of Jocelyn Dyke and the Sister Islands need better support. Give them support that they need. Chanamore, share your note. The last 2 weeks has been a good time for the people of Long Loc and East End. We celebrated 250 years of self-manumission, where our ancestors paid for their freedom. I think it was £5, the research revealed. And today's dollars, I did the research, would have been 800 and something dollars. Hear that? That's how we were what? 800 and something pounds. Walked bare, driven like slaves for decades. And they say you only worth 800 and something pounds in today's dollars. £5 then, 800 pounds now. The 25 free men, women, and children that were we bought this women and the property. So I want to thank the organizing committee for the work they did to put on those activities. I'm a little disappointed as well that we didn't have a larger turnout on all the events. Sunday event was a very good event. We were able to have some conversations with our people. Premier and I were able to speak to the people of our community. I think we had a very good event on Sunday. On Tuesday, we marched through the streets of Eastern Long Loc as well. And I think God has a sense of humor. You know? He made it such that it was hot like the days of slavery. They started to plow in the fields and plow for hours at a time when we were marching through the streets of Eastern Longlook on that Tuesday. And the concert that followed thereafter, I think, was well received. And the lecture at the college as well was well received, and the research. I want to commend those persons who took the time to do the work and do the research to ensure that we document this history, to ensure that we continue to celebrate this history and preserve this history of the free people of the Eastern Longlook community. And the gala, oh, the gala. The only disappointment I have, Premier, they shouldn't have taken on that walkway so quickly. They should have left that up for a while so that during the festival season we could have had an opportunity for persons who are visiting to get a little bit of that history, you know, and really get a little taste of whence they came and their ancestors. That's the only disappointment that I have. But the inside of that gala, amazing. An amazing, amazing display of Eastern Longlook pride, Eastern Longlook talent, and I want to commend publicly my ancestral cousin Deidre Potter. So I understand that she was instrumental and the brains behind the work was done to bring that community center to life. And I said to the Premier at the gala that we don't need to go nowhere else or Eastern now. Based on what that community center looked like on that evening, there's nothing we can't do in that community center. And the way that the whole event came off, it exuded pride, Virgin Islands pride, and exuded Eastern Longlook pride in terms of all the ancestors of the Eastern Longlook people that worked on that event. And I want to commend Deidre again. I want to commend all the persons on the organizing committee, Ms. Bernadette Louis, who was the lead, and all those persons who worked tirelessly to bring this event to what it was. And I was really, really, really excited. But I say that and I digress for a quick moment, Mr. Speaker. And I reflected on the 250 years and the years prior when we started to celebrate the festivities. And I know that the Eastern Longlook people has come a long way in terms of ensuring that that history and that heritage is recognized. And I'm disappointed, and I have to say, Premier, Junior Minister for Tourism, that we have taken away days from the Eastern Longlook people again. Days that they have fought for. My uncle, Leslie, God rest his soul, came in this house and fought to ensure that the Eastern Longlook people had a holiday that commemorated their strife for freedom. The festivities started in the Eastern Longlook community. I hope that schedule that I'm seeing is wrong, that the Monday or the Tuesdays going back and we're still going to have festivities in Eastern. So you're saying to me, on one hand you celebrate 250 years, you had a big celebration at Gala, an annual celebration, you're taking it away, you're erasing it. This got to be a mistake, Mr. Speaker. That schedule cannot be correct. Let's write that wrong real quickly. The people of the Eastern Longlook community deserve to celebrate the way they want to celebrate. If they want to jump up at Juve alone, if they want to have a village and only 10 people show up, they own that right to do so. They own the right to do so. The festivities started in our community. Our people built it. It is. I only see a boat race. What we do? All I see is a boat race in a Juve. That's what 250 days. Yeah. Thank you, my friend. Correct it, please.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I understand the member, and rightfully so, he has to represent the district and the people. And it has been for years that the Emancipation Festival is for the entire Virgin Islands, and we've always had activities in Roetown, then we go to East End, Long Lake area, and then we go to Carrot Bay. And like I said earlier, there are some changes that are being made. So you do have the Tuesday and the Wednesday events. They're in East End. The Sunday, they are having boat races, etc., the water sports activities. And the Tuesday and Wednesday, the Wednesday, of course, in the morning, you still have the tramp, the Rise and Shine tramp. That's not taken away. And also, they have I was looking for the flyer, but they're having a cultural showcase in one of the days as well. So the holidays and the activities are not taken away from the Eastern Long Lake community. There have been changes in terms of the entertainment in the evening, and that is because of the cost. But we can discuss that a little further, and that's why I say we're going to be looking at some changes and have discussions again with the community, in the entire community after festival. That was discussed. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I thank you for your interjection, Member for the Fourth. Interjection. And I hear you, but the flyer that is published says something different. It says something totally different. And the reality is that we have to, you cannot seek, and I know this has been a plan for years to try to seek to take away. There's been a discussion for eons to take away the days of celebration of the people of Eastern Long, the history and the heritage. You are a descendant. You are a descendant of those people, Honorable Member for the Fourth. 250 years. More than the United States of America. We have to fix this. We have to get this fixed. The people of Eastern need their days. Even if 2 weeks show up, we need to have our days to celebrate the way that we choose to celebrate. It can't be cost. When we could find money to do all kind of things. What's the cost for our freedom? What was the cost for our freedom and all we went through and paid for? We need our days. The Premier is the member for the 7th District. The Junior Minister for Tourism is a descendant of the 25 free slaves. And I ain't going to sit down. So we have to get it fixed, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also want to take this opportunity to celebrate and congratulate the graduates from all the schools, the secondary schools, from university, from the primary school who have matriculated throughout the primary school system, in my community and throughout the entire territory. I had the privilege of visiting some of the schools, particularly on the Sister Islands. Very good graduation. I think Brigada Flax took the cake in terms of efficiency and ushering through their graduates at the graduation ceremony. But I want to acknowledge all those persons from my community who graduated, particularly young Destiny Norris, who was top 10 in the entire territory, who graduated from secondary school. My little friend Destiny, I was proud of her talent and her ability. I know she's going to go places moving forward, so I want to commend her going forward as well. Fishing tournament, Mr. Speaker. Give me one, I indulge your privilege for one more minute, Mr. Speaker. We had an amazing event over the weekend, and Mr. Speaker, you had the opportunity to be there to celebrate with us as well. We had the reviving of the fishing jamboree, or Fisherman's Day, as we used to call it, at the Long Bay Beach Beef Island. Mr. Speaker, we had 2 days of amazing fun on the sea. It was named in honor of the late David Tiger Smith, a staple within our community, a man who was an avid fisherman, a sportsman, someone who has a staple. He's going to be forever remembered from his restaurant in Greenland, an electrician, an overall good human being, good community man, and we were pleased to honor that tournament in his honor. We went out 2 days. Unfortunately, came up short again to my schoolmate Gary Smith. But it speaks to, and the member from the second was there with me on one of those days. And he got a chance to see firsthand the rigors. And he's a normal fisherman as well. He goes up with his Gambia crew. But the rigors that those individuals endure just to bring fish to market, to bring the fish to market to be able to provide sustenance for us here on land, and also to provide a living for themselves and their families. Difficult, very difficult. And I want to commend for support this week. And he had the Premier's Cup, which you presented on behalf of the Premier. We presented numerous awards to persons. I want to commend the team from Jasper Dyke, Mr. Carwood, and Mr. Shinnery, who continues to come and support us at the event. The Jasper Dyke crew is always there in full support over the last 2 years. We wouldn't have the trawling unit if it wasn't for them. We caught over 1,000 pounds of fish in 2 days. 5 boats caught over 1,000 pounds of fish in extremely rough waters. That weekend was extremely rough. And it shows the skill of our fishermen. It shows the bountifulness of our fishing waters. And that's why I continue to advocate in this house for the need for us to invest in a more substantial way, in a more practical way, in the fishing industry in this territory. That as well, we have to loosen the reins on spearfishing as well. It's one of the most sustainable forms of fishing. Spearfishing, you go and you select the fish that you want to catch. When you set fish spots, you catch everything. When you set a net, you catch everything. Juvenile fish, mature fish, everything died. We have to look at fishing in a more comprehensive way and really look at a way to really create some opportunities for our fishermen and give them the support that they need. So again, I thank the Premier, thank the government for their support and all the sponsors who assisted us in making this year's event possible. And Mr. Speaker, before I go, I just want to give condolences as well to those families who've lost loved ones, particularly young Kamoy Walters, his mom Natasha, who was my schoolmate. We went to school together. I know Natasha personally. I want to give my sincere condolences to her, his immediate and extended family. My heart go out for his son, who is now have to grow up without actually knowing his father in a meaningful way. So sad and so disheartening, the challenges that we have with crime and gun violence in particular in our territory. It doesn't just affect the direct family who's impacted, it affects the entire territory and all the persons who feel the pain of the loss of a loved one. So again, Mr. Speaker, I thank you for your indulgence. I want to again wish everyone a safe and happy festival and look forward to the celebrations when the time comes. Thank you.
Thank you. Recognize the Deputy Premier.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to first commend the Premier for being in the position that he is in, to have done what he did for this celebration, this 250th celebration, that the people of the East, Langlok in particular, was able to carry out. From his position, he was able to do something that I'm not a big fan of. Give the territory a holiday.
The world is over.
And for the purpose, I can't do but anything but support it. And I think that no matter how well prepared and how elegant the facilities were, I think giving it a holiday, give it another twist. And the Premier is deserving of recognition for that. Mr. Speaker, the member for the second district, in his presentation, he said that we haven't been around for a little while. We haven't been able to do other business for a little while. And sitting on the side that he's on, I can see what he's talking about. I kind of sympathize with him as far as that is concerned. And it's not just a matter of other business. I think it also has to do with the fact that they were unable to ask questions of ministers. I don't know, Mr. Speaker, if there is a better way to do what we've done. We have a really heavy schedule of legislative agenda, and I don't know if there's a better way. But I'm sure going forward, the Premier will be taking that into consideration and coming back here before festival. Again, members would, of course, get an opportunity. Maybe not. Maybe that sitting will go on again. But yes, Mr. Speaker, the member for the second also spoke about the water situation in Yoswandike. And that is something that we can all in the Virgin Islands identify with. I even heard the member for the 9th district said that he has some difficulties, and his difficulties came from nature. The sargassum, that is something that is not going away anytime soon. We are at the ministry contemplating getting a boom to put out there to somehow mitigate against the amount of sargassum that is plaguing our territory. The member for the 8th showed me what Trellis Bell looked like some weeks back. And I think that the ministry did a marvelous job in trying to clean it up, and the beach at Long Bay, Beef Island, is in a terrible shape. We're working on that right now. So global warming is a real phenomenon, Mr. Speaker. And I don't think that the people of the territory comprehend exactly what it's all about. But it keeps showing its face in these very, very particular ways. Like, I don't think the Sahara dust is just there because there's dust in Sahara. I think it's all there because of global warming and all the things that goes along with it. But getting back to the situation with water, Mr. Speaker, I know that the minister, because I met with him last week, Wednesday I think it was, and we talk about this situation that is going on with water in the territory, and it's something that they're working on. There are some difficulties that keep popping up. The Yoswandike situation is one, and it's been compounded, Mr. Speaker, with the issues that we're having. As you would have noticed, that there's some power shortages, power outages in the territory, and when the generators go down, for whatever reason, it impacts upon the water plants, water production capabilities. In my own district, Mr. Speaker, it's our district, people are talking about shortage of water and the difficulties they're having. And there's one promise I wanted to make to the people of our district is that I know what it's like. Because in 2003, we changed it to having water 24/7 from 2003 to 2013 when the plant was decommissioned. But we are looking at making sure that the people of the Tower District again is able to have water 24/7. But it's not as easy as it may sound. The ocean is right there, and all you have to do is, I guess, to some people, all you have to do is convert that ocean water to potable water. But no, it's not that simple. There's a thing in government called procurement, and that whole issue of procurement makes life a little complicated for us. Back in 2003, when we did it, it was far less complicated than it is right now. And with those complications come
difficulties for the people. But that's something that this government is working on, trying to make sure that we get that situation cleared in the second district, third district, and of course, you're not going to fix one area alone, you're going to fix them all. So it's something that's been worked on. Mr. Speaker, the roads. We are working on this project from West End Ferry Terminal to Rotown Ferry Terminal. And 90% of that stretch of road is in the 3rd District. I run from Fort Recovery all the way up to Fort Worth. But the stretch of road that is most contentious right now, and we're working on the entire stretch of road right now, one time, all the bluff and all that area. But the most contentious area is the area running from Palestina to Seacoast Bay, to the Anglican Church in specific. They had to take up the surface that was there, the concrete surface that was there, because in order to put a fresh surface down that is sustainable, the existing bed was compromised, so they had to take that up. And in doing so, they had to spread layers upon layers of a cementitious material. They mix the quarry waste with cement or something like that. It becomes cementitious. And after a while, your cars are running on it, it creates dust. And the dust flies. And the dust flies, and it flies. So they start wetting it, and they wet it, and with the sun peeling down on it, that wetting only lasts about maybe an hour at best. And they start flying again. And then you have to call the trucks back into it. And then once you do that a few times, Mr. Speaker, it creates potholes, and then you have to grade it. And so it's one complaint after another, after another, after another, and they're justified complaints. And I think that yesterday we've started to turn the corner, because the asphalt, they were supposed to put on asphalt today, Friday, but they started yesterday, a day early. And that is one time, Mr. Speaker, when something comes a day early, I mean, it's not like, it's probably better than giving birth to a child one day early. Child was going to come the next day anyway, so one day early isn't. But this, for the folks in that area, Mr. Speaker, I think it's a huge relief. And all you can see from what is taking place right now down the future is smooth sailing. I hope it continues. But as you know how people are, Mr. Speaker, there'll always be something to complain about. But I think I'm built for it right now, the complaints. All I'm going to do is continue to do what I think is right, and what's best, and also what's best for the people. I think right now that's the trajectory that we're on right now. So that's where we are with that, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm not going to. In the territory, we've been having some ups and downs, some due to violence, and I can't help but recall the most recent incident, Mr. Speaker, where a young man lost his life, whose life was taken, and that's unfortunate. I pray for those who are mourning and just those regards, and hope that our police department is in a position to protect the citizens from such violence. And, you know, I was talking to some police officers who neighborhood patrol, who wants to come into my district and do some patrol. And in that discussion that we had, it stemmed from activities that are taking place in the school system that no one knows about. And they want to make sure that, the question is, where does it begin? Has it begun in the school, or is it did it begin in neighborhoods? Because they're young people, usually they're teenagers, school-aged teenagers. Did it start on the streets, on the corner, street corner, and it found its way back into the school, or did it start at the school and it filters out onto the street? But wherever it started, Mr. Speaker, it's troubling. And I think that is something that we have to deal with from the level. The government has to get involved in that, making sure that the police get the support that it needs, and in so doing, to have vehicles for patrol purposes. There's nothing more comforting, Mr. Speaker, than when you're in a place and you look over your shoulders and you see something that's threatening to you, whether it's people hanging around or it's getting dark or whatever the case may be. There's nothing more comforting than when you see a patrol car shows up. And those patrol cars don't only bring comfort to you, but it also make those people who are intent on doing harm uncomfortable. So that's where we come in as a government, trying to help remedy certain situations such as that. So, Mr. Speaker, with that said, I think I will take my seat.
I recognize the Premier.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'll be very efficient because, of course, I know that there are other obligations today, and we are limited to a specified period of time. Let me take this opportunity firstly to express to all those who have lost loved ones my sincere condolences. Of course, you know, you start calling names, you run the risk of leaving persons out. So many persons have lost loved ones, but I just would like to say that I lost someone who was a neighbor of mine for a few years. My family lived in McNamara for a few years, and at that time, Sarah Penny was living in McNamara as well. I'm just about 3 years younger than myself, so you know, we knew each other as little children, and it was with deep sadness that I learned of her passing, and I certainly express condolences to her family and the wider community, as she was a national figure. Of course, I have a neighbor of mine, Kalma, and Ria, who will be burying their mother and their grandmother. That I believe Honorable Penn, the oldest person in our community. Yeah, who was the oldest person in Eastern Longlook at the time. And again, heartfelt condolences going out to Miss Ella Smith. Miss Ella Smith. She'll be being buried. And all the other families who are suffering loss at this particular time, too many to mention. This sitting has been going on for some time, Mr. Speaker, and I just want to say, of course, that I mean, I would say not usual business that was conducted. We had some very consequential and historic things happening during the sitting. Of course, we dealt with Human Rights Commission, which was something long outstanding from the 2007 Constitution. And it was important that we dealt with it before we enter into constitutional negotiations, which commence on Tuesday, July 14th. And I'm pleased that we were able to do some of these things before we got to the constitutional negotiations. We were also able to consider the special report from the House of Assembly report on the Constitutional Review Commission's recommendations, which helped to inform an official negotiating position. We named the members of the Constitutional Review team. As we would have been dealing with a cost of living crisis, we were able to deal with the Consumer Protection Act. As we're dealing with, as members described, a water and energy crisis, we dealt with VUCO, Virgin Islands Energy and Water Authority. And as we have a election approaching, we also dealt with the Elections Act, along with a number of other consequential pieces of legislation. So the sitting has gone long, I acknowledge that. I'm glad that we're finally able to bring it to a close. Glad that, of course, members will be able to, at the next sitting, be able to ask their questions on behalf of the constituents and people of the Virgin Islands. But certainly, we're happy to bring this session to a close so we can move forward with the business of democracy and the business of government. Let me say, Mr. Speaker, the territory has its challenges. The territory has its challenges, and you know, we don't live in a utopia. We live in a place where we have challenges, and we have to work together as best we can to solve those challenges. We have challenges which have been long-standing over years, and we have challenges that pop up from day to day. Our job is to ensure that we come together and solve those challenges as best we can in the best interests of the people of the Virgin Islands. We recognize that district representatives have a role to play in bringing attention to the challenges in their areas. We recognize that the opposition has a role to play in bringing attention to the challenges of the day. We who are the government, we must cooperate with all stakeholders to get these challenges solved. And some of these challenges is the reason why we're in here in the House of Assembly passing laws, we're in Cabinet passing, approving policies, and we are signing contracts, getting things done. Of course, persons will have some complaints about, and rightly so, it's disruptive when we have work being done on the roads. But that work is being done because we are working hard to try to solve the challenges of the people of the Virgin Islands. So when we speak about the water challenges we have, efforts are being made, Mr. Speaker, and we sympathize with those persons who are experiencing water challenges. I would never minimize the challenge of not being able to have consistent water. I mean, that problem didn't arise overnight, but we recognize our responsibility to fix it. That's why we are, you know, that's why we declared water a national, urgent national priority. That's why we've been ordering, you know, the HDPE pipes and having them placed in the ground. That's why we are repairing reservoirs. That's why we are procuring water plants. That's why we're doing all of these different things. And there'll come time to you know, I guess, throw jabs back and forth about who is responsible or not responsible. But right now, we just focus on getting the job done. And of course, the roads. Person spoke about the roads. And of course, you see all of the work that took place in the east. And we went through our pain in the east. We went through quite a bit of pain. And we have more pain to go through in the east because, of course, we'll be ensuring that we execute the sewage program, particularly in the 8th district from Long Swamp straight up to Paramtown. And that will involve some digging up of the roads, and then we'll have to rehabilitate those roads. But, you know, we went through a lot of pain, so to speak, Paraquita Bay, Hodges Creek Road. Up in Nottingham Estate, we've gotten a great deal of road work done. You see, we're doing some road work on Little Dix Hill now. So we've been doing road walks in the territory, and it's going to cause some disruption. And of course, on the western end of the island, you know, persons approach me, you know, it's painful. You know, we're experiencing some pain, but I promise persons that, you know, we'll get through this disruptive construction period, and when we're finished, we'll have roads which will be able to last, and roads that we can drive on and feel comfortable on. And we're trying to see if we could eliminate the quote-unquote bragadam from the roads. And that's going to require some disruption. So we just ask persons to bear with us, be patient with us, but we are doing these things ultimately to make your lives better and easier. While we do have challenges in the territory, Mr. Speaker, we do have victories that we should celebrate. We should celebrate Adeja Hatch. We should celebrate our BVI athletes. Firstly, Adeja Hatch, you know, of course we know she's supposed to be 10 minutes. Running in 10 minutes actually, and persons need to tune in to Adeja's race and give her all the support that we can give her. She is making us immensely proud. I mean, she ran at the NCAA Division I track and field championships as a 20-year-old young woman and gave the BVI the 5th fastest time in the history of that 100-meter event for women. 5th fastest time in history, not for the year, not for the last 10 years, for history. And just have a handful of people ahead of her. With the great legendary Flo Jo having a record of fastest time ever. And I believe that one day Adeja Hatch will break Flo Jo's record and become the fastest woman in history. And that's from a territory of 30+ thousand persons, compared to the great United States of America, that's over 350 million people. And that should just, BVI persons should feel pride in the fact that despite our challenges, despite all of our issues, that we could do something that is so magnificent coming out of this small territory. It should cause a certain level of pride among the population in who we are as Virgin Islanders. Because we tend to beat up ourselves, but we do so well. We do so well in many respects. And we should celebrate ourselves more than we celebrate ourselves. And the OECS Champion Track and Field Championships, Team BVI placed 3rd out of all of the OECS countries. You know, we are doing well when you look at all of those individual track athletes. I don't want to start calling names because I get in trouble, but they are, you know, winning gold medals, silver medals, bronze medals, and it makes us proud. We are very proud of them. The Minister for Health and Social Development mentioned tourism. The fact that Virgin Gorda is ranked 3rd best island in the Caribbean. Those are things to celebrate. Those are things to be joyful about. Those are things that we can find uplifting and give us energy to keep pushing forward on our journey of national development. Yes, we have challenges that we have to overcome in terms of how the place looks in beautification. As beautiful as the Virgin Islands is, and as beautiful as persons, you know, remark that it is, we do have to take more pride in our environment. We do have to get those derelicts. I know the minister is working very hard to get those derelicts off of the road. We had some challenges in terms of a site. I believe those challenges are being resolved, and we're going to have the war on derelicts resume. And we also have, we've spoken a little bit about it. I'm going to have to get a little bit more aggressive with all of the agencies responsible for it, so that we can have certain standards in terms of our communities and our environment. Standards as it pertains to trailers and standards in terms of how persons keep their properties, especially roadside properties and things like that. We're going to have to get aggressive about those things because ultimately we can't leave it just to persons' own individual pride because some persons are not walking along with the rest of the community. And so we're going to have to take some concrete steps and concrete measures as it pertains to those things. But we do have things that we need to celebrate. I want to congratulate all of those persons who've graduated. I had, my daughter graduate, so as a parent, it gives me a great feeling of pride, and I know all the other parents would feel the same in terms of seeing your children achieve great things. So I want to congratulate all the graduates. I also want to recognize, not too long ago we had Father's Day, recognize all of those fathers who are playing their part and playing their role in their children's lives. Celebrate those persons who have been making a contribution to build strong, healthy children who will become adults and strong, healthy, contributing members of our society. I have to bemoan the fact that we had our first murder for the year. That was something that, it sickened me to my stomach, really. You see a young man in our community, life being taken away from him. Senseless. You have what persons have asserted that this had to do with, robbing somebody for jewelry or whatever else it is. These things are senseless, and we have to see how we can encourage our young persons to value life. Other places in the world you see that life is meaningless, and you just people dying left and right for whether the persons are at war, whether persons just you don't see the value of life. And we in the Virgin Islands have to recognize the value of life. And we can't take this callous attitude towards members of our community. So I encourage persons to, yes, we have to pray for our communities. We have to pray for our communities. We have to come together. But we also have to put programs in place so that we can get at the grassroots level and engage with our young people and people in our community. And that's why very soon, very shortly, we're going to come with a community empowerment program so that we can get deep into our communities and help to shape the characters of the young persons in those communities so that we are not destructive to each other, but we become our brother and our sister's keeper. Mr. Speaker, I'm going to bring my remarks to a close, but I just want to encourage everyone to pray for us as we enter into negotiations with the United Kingdom for a new constitution. Mr. Speaker, I know a lot of things have been said about the Virgin Islands and its path to self-determination, whether we believe we are capable of governing ourselves, whether we believe that we would run amok if left to ourselves. But I just want to use the example of Nottingham, what we refer to as Nottingham Estate, and what Ron Pat has encouraged me just to always refer to as Long Look, as Long Look, and do away with the Nottingham part of it, which I have to say I agree with Ron there. Ron has a very strong point. But let's use the example of Long Look. I was pleased to learn that when they were, I guess, abolitionists were promoting the concept of abolition, and they did a study to see whether, whether actually enslaved populations could look after themselves if you free them. That long look was an example to show persons, look, that you provide freedom, and of course we were self-manumitted and we bought our freedom. But if you emancipate the enslaved populations, that they can not only survive but they can thrive. And Long Look is an example of that, because you see my honorable colleague, the leader of the opposition, former Minister of Finance and former Deputy Premier, and just all of the great things that the Skelton family has achieved in this Virgin Islands, and Honorable Luce Smith and all that she has achieved. And that's just talking about in this house. Of course, Honorable Attorney General, who's a descendant, about half of the house comes from Long Look. And that's the same in past houses as well. Long Look has produced such greatness, and it just shows you that we can't listen to the lies. We can't listen to the lies that tell us that we can't manage ourselves, we can't govern ourselves. We can do just as any other people in the world can do, because we're equal. I believe in the equality of human beings, and we should not see ourselves as inferior, morally inferior, or intellectually inferior, or any other type of inferiority that would inform this belief that we can't do what other persons in the world have done, notwithstanding our size. We punch above our weight every single time. And while I'm in the middle of this point, and just because I've remembered it, I also have to congratulate Honorable Lorna Smith and BVI Finance and the Ministry of Financial Services, in other words, for that very successful FinTech on the seas, and attracting, big-time digital exchange like Kraken to the BVI. The BVI punches above its weight every single time, and we're moving in the right direction. But as it pertains to constitutional negotiations, pray for us that we might achieve advancement, and that we do what our ancestors did for us. We do that for the next generations. Because if it wasn't for Honorable Lavity Stout and Ivan Dawson and Terence Letsom and Willard Wheatley and Conrad Maduro and all of these different people, Leslie Malone, if it wasn't for all of these persons fighting for us, would we be where we are today? Faulkner, De Castro, Fonseca. If they didn't do it for us, would we be here where we are? And don't we have a responsibility to fight? And let me express my appreciation for the members of the opposition who are on this negotiating team, and the unity that they have displayed, being an excellent example of the fact that we may be on opposite sides of the aisle, but when it comes to things which are national issues and good for the people of the Virgin Islands, the fact that we could come together, that in itself should give our people some confidence that when it comes to these particular issues, we could come together and we can unify and we can fight together. We could lock arms and we could fight together. And I want to express my appreciation to Honorable Penn and Honorable Skelton for being patriotic and being good examples to the population, as well as to the Deputy Premier, Honorable Julian Fraser, who is not currently a member of the Virgin Islands Party, so he's not part of the same party. But he too is completely lockstep as it pertains to advancing our people's interests at the national level. And of course, I recognize also Honorable Kairam, Honorable Shari De Castro, who are also a part of the team, and the whole House, who has unified, put together a negotiating document, and and that's the basis for our negotiations, which commence on Tuesday. So having said that, huh? Yeah, so everybody tune in. I'm told that the race is about to start. Tune in to Deja Hajj. I'm certainly going to stop speaking now so I can watch the race. This race only lasts a few seconds. But thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to speak to the people of the Virgin Islands. And let me express my appreciation to the people of Long Look and the 7th District for giving me the opportunity to be in this position. And it's my honor and privilege to represent them and to serve the people of the Virgin Islands. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. The people of the 1st District will not be denied. As I sit in this chair, I do so as Speaker, but I do have that obligation. So I will hopefully in record time, to allow members to see the race, at least thank those persons who have sent me here and mention a few items of concern to them. One of the themes that we've spoken about a lot today has been water, and that has been an issue in the 1st District. And we are pleased that the water production company, Aqua Design, after a tremendously long journey that started in 2017 with Hurricane Irma, are now on the verge of restoring to full production level in that 1st District area that they serve. And I'd like to thank the leadership of that team, Mr. Mikey Matthews, as well as persons from BVI Electricity Corporation, because there are some of the issues that they face has to do with electricity as well. So pleased for the efforts that they have made, and it seems like we are on the verge, maybe as early as next week, as being back to full production, which should then increase the water supply across the district. In addition to production increase, we also are looking, with the support of the Ministry of Finance and the Minister, to expand the network of water. Those persons who have the privilege of public water, especially in higher elevations, plans have been made, and we hope that the financing will come through that will allow other persons to gain access to public water. We again thank the members residents of the district for their patience as far as the road works is concerned. I always tell the Minister for the Third and the Minister of Communication that part of his constituents are affected by the roads, but it's really all of the 1st District are impacted by the roadworks. But we do see the light at the end of the tunnel, and as patriots, we understand that there's a level of patience needed, and we expect to continue to support the effort as we move to a better infrastructure, road infrastructure. The road infrastructure, and we've mentioned about the level of drought that we've had, but we've also had issues when we have tremendous amounts of rain. So we have been busy addressing drainage issues through the civil mitigation policy. We're dealing with drainage issues in the Garden Gut area in Carrot Bay, freshwater pond in the towers. We have done walls to shore up roads on Zion Hill and Romney Park and other areas to ensure the safety of persons in the district as they reach their home or drive straight across the main roads. We also had, in fast culture and tourism, last week we had the launching of the Dynamic Ribbon Dancers. It's a Platpole group led by Ms. Lavon Blyden, and it just adds to the growing number of cultural assets across the district. We've improved the viewing area for sightseeing coming down on Windy Hill recently. We've started work on a trail at Belmont, which is going beautifully, again, which adds another dynamic to persons visiting the district as well as residents to enjoy. We are on the verge again of further beautification and murals that we hope through the Solid Waste Department as well as private persons to improve that, and even by the end of this month to see additional beautification in that area. And I would also mention, I want to thank Ms. Monica Housen and the committee that has led the Carrot Bay Cultural Thursdays for the last 3 years. We recently made our 3rd anniversary. A lot of things are difficult to begin and sustain, but we have made our 3rd anniversary, and I'd like to thank the President, Monica Housen, the Secretary, Ms. Teacher Jackie, and all the other members of the team for their sterling work. Again, as I said, it adds to the cultural assets. So we've had private persons, Ms. Cheryl Smith with the Brick Oven, Yuki Donovan with his farm tours. We have the Coal Pot Restaurant who regularly provide cooking lessons to persons of the cruise ships. So we are, again, continuously improving the cultural assets. And we thank the Honorable Premier for providing the funding for the work on the cultural village, which will begin shortly, and conversations around that will take place shortly in the district. I also would like to recognize the recent transfer of the Great Catch to National Parks Trust. Now, the National Parks Trust has, in my view, a responsibility for how we present much of our environmental assets for tourism purposes, both local and abroad. And I think Spring Beyond Virgin Gorda, Honorable Member would recognize, is a project that has been excellently done, and we expect that that would be the standard that they use as they help to develop further sites across the territory. So we look forward to what they will do on Thatch Island and other areas in the territory. I would then turn my attention to, like others did, congratulating all the persons who graduated from primary, secondary, tertiary level. In the secondary, in Leonora Delvit, Ms. Kyra Hendrickson was one of our top 10 students across the territory, and I give particular congratulations to her. And then we also had 2 new doctors, persons who are medical doctors, Dr. Shanae Richards and Dr. Hannah Russ, who also graduated in recent months in institutions abroad. I too wish to invite the public to pray for our constitutional negotiating team as they begin that important work next week. So I finally then offer festival greetings, invite persons to come out to all the various events across the territory, and of course to come down to Carrot Bay Thursday, Friday, Saturday, possibly Sunday, for a range of activities that will delight you. I'll also especially invite people to come out to the Miss BVI pageant, because there's a 66% chance that the winner of that pageant, Crown Miss BVI, will be from the 1st District. We have Ms. Asha Heineman and Ms. Kayla Penn from the 1st District, and we also have Ms. Angelique Letsom from Angelique Letsom also is the other contestant. So we have an excellent chance, and I wish the best to all the contestants as they compete and make the BVI proud, as I'm sure Adeja will in just a few minutes. So with that note, I pray God's blessing on all of you as we seek to continue to do our best for the Virgin Islands in this house. So that now concludes any other business, and I call upon the clerk.
Item number 10, adjournment.
Call upon the Premier.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, move a motion that the House be adjourned to the 21st of July at 10 a.m.
Members, it has been moved and second that this House stand adjourned until the 21st July at 10 a.m. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it. This House stands adjourned.